Welcome back to the 49ers You've Got Mail podcast presented by Delta Dental. In today's episode, we've got the man who can do it all, Mr. Christian McCaffrey. In this episode, he talks about his Salute to Service Award nomination, what it's like being a dad. We play a few fun games and also answer questions directly from the faithful. Check out my conversation with him right here. Joining us now on You've Got Mail is the one and only Christian McCaffrey. Christian, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Appreciate you having me on.
Of course. First things first, I want to congratulate you. You were just announced as the 49ers nominee for the Salute to Service Award, a huge honor that recognizes everything you've done for the military community through your initiative. So tell me how it feels to receive an award and be recognized in that way.
Yeah, it's an honor. I think, as professional athletes, we have such great platforms to give back to the community, and the military has been something that I've had, an affinity for really my whole life. And so to be honored that way is awesome. It's exciting because, more eyes to foundations means, more visibility and more money going to great causes that can help people.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to say, the surprise was great. For those who haven't seen it, can you share what went down from your perspective? I know George was in on it. Were you confused when you saw him on the Zoom screen?
Yeah, definitely. There's always something with George, but anytime he's in on something, he does it big, and it was so much fun. Huge honor. I know he's somebody that gives a lot of his time, of his effort, of his money back to the community. So to receive that honor from him means a lot.
Yeah, you've dedicated a lot of time over the years supporting the military community. I want to know, where does that connection come from for you?
I think for me, growing up in Colorado, I'm right next to the Air Force Base. I have a lot of buddies who went to Air Force or went to Army or went to Navy, whatever it may be. And so, it was always just instilled in us that, we're playing football, playing basketball, playing baseball growing up, and there's people who are sacrificing everything from, their lives to limbs to, time away from their families, and then all the stuff that comes after they return home from war, with the mental challenges and the emotional challenges that come with it, let alone the physical ones. So it's just always been something I've been very appreciative of and gotten to spend a lot of time with, active duty military members and veterans. And it always amazes me how inspiring those guys are.
Yeah, you've said it with your 23 in Troops initiative that you want these veterans to receive the same quality of care that athletes do. So that means top of the line treatment. What does that look like in action?
Yeah, so it also, for me, it started when I read a stat that said 22 veterans commit suicide every day. And that hit me hard. That's every day. Yeah. And, I thought, man, I wonder how I could make a difference in chopping that number down and hopefully getting it to zero eventually. And as a football player, we take such great care of our bodies. It's 24/7 on the clock, especially with stuff with, your head and neck and all the different stuff that come with that. And so I thought, my goal initially was, let me try to provide all the stuff that professional athletes get and give those to the military. And, we have such a great team of people here at the Niners who help take care of you, but there's only so many hours in the day and there's 100 guys that they have to treat. And so the onus is a lot of times on the athlete to go out and get that outside care. And I've learned that that's very similar in the military where when you're done, it's not that people don't want to help because there's a million foundations that want to help. It's just finding the right ones and really understanding what it is that they need. And so with my initiative, we put them through basically a 9-month trial run where we do blood work panels, full body MRIs, functional scans. We try to find every metric we can that's going on with these guys, these men and women, and figure out exactly what's wrong. And when you know what's wrong and you know the data and you can kind of take a look under the car, it's, I don't want to say easier, but you can take a step in the right direction and figure out exactly how you want to help these people. And so that's what we do. It takes a long time. It's not an overnight thing. That's one thing I've realized. It's very difficult and there's not an easy fix. But I think just continuing to, just stack the time and the effort one by one day at a time, hopefully we can get some great results.
Yeah, I do have to say that this care is very intentional. So your recognition is very well deserved. I want to transition to another important role that you have, and that's the role of being a dad. Mm-hmm. You and Olivia welcomed baby Colette over, the beginning of the season, during the off season right there. Congratulations on that. How does it feel being a dad?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's the best thing in the world. I think, it's tough to explain, but, just coming home after a long day, whether it was good or bad, it takes all of the past away from you and you get to focus on spending some time with her. And it's so much fun. It's been so cool watching Olivia become a mom and seeing how much she loves it. And man, it's such a blessing.
Yeah, you've mentioned in the past that you've always wanted to be a dad. So is there anything that surprised you about fatherhood so far?
I think nothing surprising. It really is a blessing. I mean, I didn't realize how much I'd love it. I always knew I'd like it, but even the hard times, whether it's difficult or not, you just learn to appreciate that so much. And watching her grow every day, it happens so quickly. And so I'm just trying to appreciate this time because, I know it goes by quickly.
Yeah. You've said recently that watching Colette notice things brings you so much joy. Is there any other little milestones that she's hit that you've been really surprised about?
Yeah, she's making a lot of noises. Just when she smiles at you, when she laughs, she's starting to almost roll over. I could tell she wants to walk, but she can't yet. But that's just all the little things, it's like, it's amazing watching her grow and how quickly it's happening. So, again, just feel so grateful.
Awesome. Well, while we're on the topic, I'm going to ask you a few rapid fire dad theme questions. So just your first instinct. Are you ready?
Yep.
How long did it take you to change your first diaper versus how long does it take you now?
I took my time on the first one. I changed her first diaper actually in the hospital. I didn't have a clock on it. I figured that was the warm-up session. But now I'm pretty good. I do it pretty quickly. But I'm definitely not as quick as my wife or my mom or her mom or anybody else just because I take my time. I want to make sure I get it right.
That she's nice and comfortable.
Yeah.
Which teammate would you most trust to watch baby Colette babysit her?
That's a good question. I think Juice would do a good job.
Okay.
I think he'd do a good job. He doesn't have kids, so there's always a risk. But I think he would do a good job. I'd trust him.
I feel like the trusty answer is like a John Weeks, a Thomas Morstead.
My initial thought was Thomas because he's got so many kids and he's talked about it. He's always like, you need to enjoy this time. It happens so quickly, and so he can appreciate this time. But I got to go with my dog.
Yeah, of course. He's a vet in the dad game. But Juice sounds like a great babysitter.
Yeah.
Well, while we're talking about the talents outside of football, because you're a very musical household with you, Olivia, everyone in there, you've got a lot of talents. One of them is that you play piano. So I'm going to paint a picture. Halloween is over. The holidays are coming up. So we're going to create a band out of guys in the locker room. Are you ready to put it together?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Sweet. So obviously you're on the piano, but let's build the rest of the band. Who is the lead singer?
Lead singer? Lead singer. Do we have anybody that can sing?
I mean, who do you think would give it the best shot? Who's always singing maybe in the locker room?
George would commit the best.
NFL honors
and
had his time.
And he's got the charisma and the aura around him where he would draw a crowd. So I'd go George.
George is the lead singer. Mm-hmm. Who's on the drums?
On the drums, I'd have to go my dog, Juwan Jennings. I feel like Juwan would kill it on the drums.
Nice, Juwan. We've got now the guitarist.
Guitarist? I go Chase Lucas.
Okay.
I just want Chase in my band.
Yeah.
He's got the best energy.
All right, we'll close it out with a performance. Who's choreographing the dancing for like a music video of this band?
Kendrick Bourne. Easy answer. KB on stage, he'd have the whole crowd doing something.
This is fun. Yeah. Okay, so you're playing piano. George is the lead singer. Yeah. Chase Lucas, the guitarist. Who's on the drums again?
Juwan.
Juwan's on the drums, and then KB's choreographing it all.
Correct.
What's the name of this group? What's the name of the album?
I don't know. You're putting me on the spot. I haven't thought about this, but oh man, I don't know. I'd probably call it Niner Gang or something for now. I'd have to think. I got to think of something more creative. I haven't thought about a name for the band yet.
All good. Yeah. We'll get there. All right, let's transition over to some fan questions. The faithful submitted some questions directly for you, Christian. First one up is, what music do you recommend on game day?
Oh, that's tough. I like listening to gospel music on game day, especially, on Sundays early in the morning, kind of get my mind right. And then after that, anything with a big beat, so there's a lot of like EDM or house music that I like to try to get in a fast mindset.
Awesome. What are some of your go-tos recently that the faithful could put on their playlist?
Oh man, honestly, it's so random. I used to have on Spotify my pregame year 2 playlist, and I would come up with it before the season and I'd shuffle it, and those would be my songs. And in my 9th year, I've run out of songs. I'm like, I just hear the same songs over and over. So it's more of a whatever I'm feeling in that day.
Yeah.
Recent, like last game, I listened to Electric Feel by MGMT like 35 times in a row. I don't know why. It was just,
35. You just put it on
song
repeat.
that I was feeling that day, and I just repeated it. And then, you know, when you get a win and you play that song that you were listening to before, it's kind of comes full circle. That was a good one.
I love it. Bookending the game with a really good song. What's your favorite holiday?
I like Christmas. It's not a better holiday. Yeah.
Christmas, we're playing Niner Gang by the Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings band.
Exactly.
Awesome. Now, this fan says, after seeing your Diglett drawing, who is your Pokemon? Are you a Pokemon kind of guy?
My older brother's a big Pokemon guy. I played a little bit growing up, but I just know the basic ones.
Okay.
Who would be my Pokemon? I was like Blastoise, the big turtle with the like cannons. So I liked.
I'm sure George geeks out over that stuff.
Yeah, they play like on the plane. They'll play.
Yeah. Fun. Now, this question I thought was really funny how the fan wrote it out. It says, how did the entire bloodline make it to the NFL? What's the secret? Because it's you, your brother, your dad. What was the secret sauce growing up in that McCaffrey family?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably my mom's cooking. That's what it was. Yeah, homemade meals from Mama Lisa. No, I don't know. I think that's not an easy answer. It's there's so much that goes into, you know. I got to say, you know, every day I feel so grateful for my parents. You know, they did such a great job, and having 4 boys is tough. But I just feel really blessed and fortunate for my parents and my brothers because we were so tight-knit. You know, we did everything together. We played multiple sports growing up. We all kind of beat to the same drum, and it was a lot of fun growing up in that household. And, you know, you always say, like, you don't know when you're in the good old days until you've actually left them. And I look back on my childhood and, you know, snow football days and playing basketball in the driveway, whatever it was, we did it together. And I'm just, you know, having good people around you, having, you know, great friends that we had that are still our best friends to this day. I think it's all about the people you surround yourself with and the community that you have. You know, it's not one thing. It's not like, you know, obviously the hard work and all that stuff is great, but I think, you know, just all of us doing everything together was such an important, you know, pivotal role in our childhood.
Awesome. Yeah, community is so important. Well, Christian, that's all we've got for you on You've Got Mail today. Thank you so much for joining the podcast.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Faithful, thank you so much for joining me in this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, SiriusXM, and your favorite podcast platform. If you'd like your question featured in another episode, be sure to follow the 49ers on social media to submit your question. That's all for today, and go Niners!